How cutthroat is the restaurant industry? I think it's pretty cutthroat between suppliers, especially suppliers, because these salespeople they change jobs, they go to other companies, and they'll do anything to like get your business initially. And even when they don't switch jobs, just as somebody walks in the door for the first time, a salesperson, they'll do anything to get you their business, price-wise, service-wise. And I gotta tell you, like 50% of these salespeople just fizzle out. The companies fizzle out. They never follow through on what they promise. And so, you switch from one company to another and this and that. But the real thing is, how cutthroat are other restaurateurs towards each other? So I had a big party in the other night, a bachelor party and a bachelorette party, and they were having a great time. They didn't know each other before they walked in the door, but they were staying for the weekend upstate by us here in Ellenville. And the bachelor party, like I said, they were having a great time. So we started talking to my wife and I, and the one guy was in the shoe business, and he goes, "Man, I got to tell you, I'm in the shoe business and it's cutthroat." He goes, "But your business is really cutthroat." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I got to tell you, I called, made a reservation at your place. I sent an email to another restaurant locally and wanted to go there for drinks. I just wanted to go there for drinks, wanted to eat at your place. We looked at both menus, we analyzed them. We wanted to go to your place." And he goes, "I sent an email to the other place saying, I want to make reservations for drinks." And he goes, "The owner called me and tried to talk me out of going to dinner at your place. Made claims as like he was the best chef, that he has the best pastry chef, that he used to work at your place, and that there's no reason to go to eat at your place, and that he needs to come eat at his place." And he was like, the guy was just very aggressive and like trying to use like inside information because he used to work for you. And he goes, "I couldn't imagine being in the shoe business like that." He goes, "That is just crazy and ridiculous." He goes, "I don't know if customers fall for that." He goes, "But I didn't fall for it." He goes, I thought the guy was pretty much a jerk for doing that." And I said, "That's probably the least of my problems is somebody doing that." I said, our biggest problems are when people call like the labor department, when they call the liquor authority, even though we've never had stuff like that, but you have to be on guard. People can call the ASCAP, BMI, the music industries and say, "Hey, they're playing music and they're not paying fees because you have to pay fees for it." There's so many things that other restaurateurs do to each other that just makes it cutthroat. The guy next to us who had a pizza place one time, he's still there. I think he's sold, but he's still around. So he was doing a pizza place open down the street, and the guy was committed for like, I don't know if he was committed for a sex crime or something. The pizza owner was handing out flyers of the other pizza owner down the street, and that he was like a convicted like felon or whatever. And it was just like, holy cow. I mean, these people, especially in Ellenville, are like willing to go like after you like tooth and nail. I used to be on the radio station once a week, nonprofit radio station. I used to talk about healthy foods, and it was all non-commercial. It was just about me, my experience as a chef, and not mentioning my restaurant name, just as an expert. And I had another restaurateur call the radio station, because it was a public radio station funded by the school, and complained about me and got me yanked off of the air permanently. Now here's my thing: if you're in business and you're doing something, why don't you get on the radio? Why don't you talk about something that's non-commercial? Why don't you talk about something that is non-for-profit, non-commercial? It's a community service. I was doing a community service on the radio, but this other restaurateur got upset and jealous. But it goes even far beyond that. When we very first opened 12 years ago, the the bar owner down the street, no longer there, long gone, he complained to the church that was, 200 feet away from us. He goes, "You're not going to call the liquor authority and protest them getting a liquor license?" And the reverend was like, "No, we don't care that they they're a restaurant. They're not a bar. They're a restaurant. They're going to be a respectable place." And he goes, "I can't believe that." So the other bar owner, ended up calling the liquor authority on us and protesting and saying that he was from the church. So of course the liquor authority now they issued us a full liquor license, and they yanked it as soon as they did it. And it took me about 2 years and long process to actually get a full liquor license. 2 years I was without a full liquor license because the bar owner down the street was being ruthless. And besides people calling the liquor authority and poaching customers, last week we had a ladder outside at the new restaurant. We were painting the facade, and all of a sudden an OSHA inspector shows up. We had other people there that have years and years of experience with construction. They're like, we've never ever seen an OSHA inspector show up at a small operation like this. And the OSHA inspector led on that somebody had actually called OSHA on us because we had a guy on a ladder outside that might not have been properly fastened and this and that. Of course, I'm not the one doing the construction, so I excuse myself in the conversation. But it goes as that far that people are just willing to do anything to cause your business agony and pain. It's amazing. Cutthroat. So is the restaurant industry ruthless? It's absolutely ruthless. My big thing is there was another restaurant up on top of the hill that opened up, and the chef in there, people told me that the chef, whatever he was, partner, part owner, who knows, they said that he was telling people that they're going to bury Aroma Time. When they open, they're going to bury Aroma Time. Of course, they're now closed. 3 years later, they're done, they're finished. But it's the mentality of people like that make this industry ruthless. Here's my thing. I'm opening another restaurant. I'm opening up a place that has pizza. And there's like 4 or 5 pizza restaurants pizza parlors in our area, at least 4. My big thing is I'm not going to do what they're doing. I'm going to do something different. I'm not going after their business. My goal is to make Ellenville a better place and to bring people into Ellenville and attract people by doing something different. So I'm going to do rustic pizzas. I'm not going to do the traditional round pizza and pizza by the slice. I'm going to be more like an Anthony's coal-fired pizza. We have a wood-burning oven coming. I'm going to do really upscale rustic pizzas with a good oven that's going to bring people into Ellenville, people that will travel for food. And we're going to do casual Italian cuisine, value casual Italian cuisine, like nobody else is doing in our area. The stuff that you're going to be able to get at my new restaurant, Tony and Nick's, is totally something different than you can get at any other Italian pizza parlor / Italian restaurant in the area. So that's the philosophy you have to have. If you're going to do something, don't try to steal other people's customers. Whether it's on the phone. If the other guy should have been happy that they were coming there for drinks, right? He should have been happy. But in turn, he lost them as customers because they're like, there's no way we're going there. There's no way we're going there. And a couple of them actually went down there because they said, well, let's just check the place out. They already had a negative connotation on the place, and they all came back and said, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. As opposed to somebody saying, oh man, if somebody said to me, I'm having dinner somewhere else, and we're thinking about coming to your place, I'd be like, absolutely. If you want to have dessert, you can have dessert. If you want to have drinks, you can have drinks. Please, what time would you like to come? Even if it's just amazing how business owners are just so short-sighted. They're so short-sighted. People are wanting to come to you. People want to patronize you. You're going to piss them off by trying to like convince them that why would you go anywhere else, and that place isn't good, and I'm better. I'm a better chef. I have a better wine list. Whatever it is. That's not what it's about. So to the person who owns that shoe business, yes, he's right. This is a cutthroat business. This is a really cutthroat business on all levels, from the suppliers to the customers. Customers are only loyal as long as another restaurant isn't luring them away. So the customers are loyal. They think you're loyal. You obviously don't see a customer for a year, 6 months, 3 months, because another restaurant has lured them away, has given them a better offer, has enticed them. Sometimes restaurants just suck, right? They go through management changes. They go through growing pains. They have something in service changes, which is expected. But then you have other restaurant owners that are just willing to do anything they can to undermine your business, from downright stealing your customers to going behind the scenes to calling the liquor authority, to calling the labor board, to even going online and posting fake reviews. I have so many reviews. Most of them get yanked because they're so transparent. You can see when they start mentioning names of other places, and they start mentioning things that are totally untrue. For me, I can see right through and say, hey, that's a competitor, that's an ex-employee, and this and that. But there's all different levels to things to worry about how cutthroat the restaurant industry is. Do I love the industry? Absolutely.